Welcome to safety training for using the prototyping room. The purpose of this training is to help HKBU users understand safety procedures in the library's prototyping room. The purpose of this training is to help HKBU users understand safety procedures in the library's prototyping room. After completing the test on Moodle, you will be eligible to book the equipment. You may request in-person training during your session, especially if this is your first time using the equipment. Supervision by authorized staff during operation is always a must. The library reserves the right to require you to undergo hands-on training, even if you claim to be an experienced user. It also reserves the right to refuse or terminate any session by pausing your work or cancelling your reservation, and may require you to leave the room and the library immediately. Please take note that this safety training does not cover all necessary safety knowledge for other workplaces, such as offices, chemical laboratories, machinery workshops, prototyping rooms, or maker labs, which use different facilities and equipment. Let's begin with an introduction to the prototyping room. Currently, 3 pieces of equipment are provided. The first one is a large format cutting plotter, which can cut out stickers and signage. It controls and moves a sharp blade along cutting lines in your design file to cut shapes out of vinyl material. You can prepare cutting lines using either the free software GraphTech Studio or the free plugin Cutting Master for Adobe Illustrator and CorelDRAW. Before cutting, ensure the blade protrudes just enough to cut the material and that the material is properly aligned. Suitable tuning of cutting conditions would also be needed. This slide is to give you an overview from preparing cutting lines to cutting out individual stickers. When you prepare your drawing, you need to use a specific color to draw lines surrounding your design, which will become the cutting lines later. Then, load your drawing into GraphTech Studio. Set the registration mark. It is important for the cutting plotter to take reference to locate the line to cut. Duplicate the design within the registration mark to form a new drawing. Choose the correct color to form your cutting lines. You may set an offset from your design to form the cutting lines. Now save a file or send it directly to the cutting plotter. The file contains information about the correlation between the location of the registration mark and the cutting lines. Then print out a physical sheet of material for the new drawing with registration marks. Before loading the printout into Cutting Plotter, set Blade Protrusion. Then load and align the printout into the Cutting Plotter, with the files storing cutting line information. The cutting plotter will scan the registration mark locations so it can calibrate itself and know precisely where to cut. After cutting, the stickers will be ready. Registration marks are useful when you already have some drawings on the sheet and you must cut those precise locations. If you are just cutting out letters or shapes to form signage out of a plain colored paper, registration marks might not be necessary. Training on how to use the software and hardware in detail will be provided in other sessions. The second piece of equipment available is a large format printer. Only print paper provided by the library can be used. Currently, the library provides print paper at a width of 24 inches, including matte-coated paper 170 GSM for making posters, and peel and stick repositionable media 260 GSM for making stickers. The third piece of equipment is a laser cutter. It is a Class 2 CO2 laser product which can cut and engrave materials. Only material provided by the library can be used. Currently, the library only provides flat pieces of acrylic and wood material, which are generally accepted for laser cutter. You may use Adobe Illustrator or CorelDRAW to prepare the drawing file. Training on how to use the software and hardware in detail will be provided in other sessions. For the detail of the machine related to safety, please refer to a separate training session, Laser Cutting and Engraving Safety. Now, let's move on to talk about general safety practice required in the prototyping room. Wearing suitable attire is always paramount to your safety. Being caught in moving or rolling parts of the machine is a common accident. To protect yourself, when you enter the prototyping room, you must not wear loose clothing or dangling accessories, jewelry, for example. Ties, scarves, ID badges, necklaces, loose bracelet, and you must secure long hair or tie it back. Besides, users may carry heavy and sharp tools to process their material, which can cause serious injury if it accidentally drops on feet directly. Therefore, to protect your feet, you must wear closed-toe and non-slip footwear. The library reserves the right to request suitable attire before allowing you into the prototyping room. When operating machines, pay attention and ensure you perform the correct steps properly. Every step is crucial for both your safety and quality of your work. Be aware and keep your hands, any parts of body or clothing, away from moving or rolling machine components, as well as their moving paths during operation. Do not try to stop moving or rolling components with your hands or other parts of your body. Be aware and keep your hands, body parts, and clothing away from heat-generating machine components to prevent skin burn. Secure your material properly in the machine so that it doesn't shift or move unpredictably. Do not disassemble the equipment, make it wet, or tamper with electrical sockets. Follow laser safety if laser is involved. Do not wear headphones, as they may prevent you from hearing emergency calls or safety announcements. Keep walkways clear of obstructions. A messy floor is dangerous to walk on. No eating or drinking. Spills can make the floor dirty and slippery, creating safety hazards. In addition, your food and drinks may become contaminated, for example, by dust if other users nearby are polishing materials. Be aware and stay alert when equipment is operating nearby, so you do not accidentally place your hand or any part of your body too close and get injured. Keep the room neat and tidy, and clean up after using any equipment. Take good care of yourself and all equipment. After covering the general safety issues in the prototyping room, we will now look at the specific safety points for each piece of equipment. For large format cutting plotter. Remember, never touch or replace the sharp blade yourself. Ask our staff for assistance. Be careful of the moving or rolling parts when inserting and aligning material. The tool carriage may suddenly move during cutting operation, immediately after cutting, or when the machine is being adjusted. When the machine is operating, remember to keep clear of all moving or rolling parts. Ensure that no part of your body, clothing, or personal item enters the paths of motion. Remember that paper edges can be sharp, and please be careful to avoid cuts. Safety icons are shown on the machine to indicate potential danger risks of the moving or rolling parts. For Canon ImagePrograph Pro 546, large format printer. Please pay attention if you are using a cardiac pacemaker or other implanted medical devices. The printer generates a low-level magnetic field. If you feel any discomfort near the printer, leave the room immediately and inform staff. Never attempt to change printing material or printer ink cartridges yourself. Ask for assistance. Never touch the electrical contacts on the print head with your hands or any tools. Keep clear of all moving or rolling parts. Ensure that no part of your body, clothing, or personal items enter their path of motion. Never insert hands, fingers, or any objects, for example, metal fragments, tools, liquids, or debris, into the printer. It could hurt yourself and damage the machine. Handle printed items and paper edges carefully to avoid cuts. For Fusion Maker 12 Laser Cutter. Do remember to pay a high level of attention when you operate this machine. A laser cutter is a high-powered equipment, and flame sometimes appears even in normal operation. Below are some of the important rules you must pay attention to. Never leave the machine unattended when it is operating. Material being processed in laser may cause flame. Proper and immediate response action is needed. Always monitor the machine. No PVC should be processed. It emits highly toxic and corrosive gas and would also damage the laser system. No overriding of any protection mechanism that protects you from the high-power laser. It only remains a Class 2 laser if all the protections are intact. You must turn on cooling and filtering. Never directly look at the laser beam. The Electrical and Mechanical Service Department of the Government of Hong Kong SAR provides safety guidelines for laser products, which you may access through the link here. To complete the training for laser safety, please attend another session, Laser Cutting and Engraving Safety. The last part is about emergency procedures. When you enter the prototyping room, always ensure you know the locations of the fire extinguishing equipment, which are crucial when an emergency occurs. In case of an accident, unusual noise, smoke, spark, or any abnormalities, always stay calm. Turn off the machine. The power button of each machine is shown in the picture. The power button of the cutting plotter is located at the back of the machine, and that of the laser machine is on its right-hand side. Immediately ask for staff assistance. Since flames may appear even in normal operation of laser cutter, for proper handling, please refer to the information in another training session about laser cutting and engraving safety. For emergency response related to fire, always be familiar with HKBU emergency procedure. If the situation is safe to do so, staff and users may attempt to extinguish it using firefighting equipment. Staff will report the incident to security or other appropriate parties afterwards. Remember, safety is always the top priority. Please don't hesitate to discuss with us anytime if you have questions.